A couple years down the road, you wake up early on a Sunday morning. You wake up to the shrill ring of an alarm, 8 a.m. Kind of wipe the sleep from your eyes, take a big deep breath in. You stretch your arms and legs as far as they can go. You look over in bed next to your beautiful wife and you think today's going to be a good Sunday. You kiss her on the forehead. You hear her groan, 5 more minutes. And you're like, okay, I'll come get you in 5 minutes. You give her 15. You come back with a hot cup of coffee. You run your hands through her medium length blonde hair. You brush the hair from her forehead and you go, "Hey, come on, time to wake up. We got a big day."
Yeah.
She kind of pouts a little bit. You fucking love it, you know? You smile. She smiles.
Okay.
She opens her beautiful blue eyes and she says, "You're right. It's going to be a good day." She takes that cup of coffee from you. You guys kiss. She gets up, she gets ready. You make a little breakfast, a little bacon, little eggs, toast. It's a simple thing in the morning.
Sure.
You guys eat breakfast together, kind of talk about your day, what all you got planned. You wanted to get an early start because it is hot and you didn't want to be doing manual labor in the heat of the day. So you're going to like one of those big box outdoor store, like a Home Depot, Lowe's, something like that.
What are we gonna do outside all day?
You're planting rose bushes.
What?
Yeah, you guys are putting some roses in the backyard. It was a decision that you and your wife had talked about.
Yeah, why that's so strange. Why would we do that?
Because a woman named Rose saved your wife's life and she just died.
What happened?
Your wife was you guys were at a Sam's Club and your wife was sampling a cocktail wiener
Yeah.
and covered it in barbecue sauce and she choked on it and the lady who was like the sample lady, her name was Rose. She like sprung into action, right? Immediately, right? She turned off her electric skillet. She stepped in, she performed a flawless Heimlich maneuver on your wife. One, two, and with a grand pump into your wife's midsection. Three, the cocktail wiener went flying out of your wife's throat and landed into the trash can on register number three. It was about 45 feet away.
Jeez.
And your wife, like as she regained her breath, she looked Rose in the face and she was like, "You just saved my life."
Wow.
And Rose was like, "That's what we do here."
At Sam's Club?
Yeah, at Sam's Club.
Wow. How did she die?
She
But you said that she died?
yeah, she died in a house fire.
Oh, geez. Wow.
She did not leave she left the oven on. Contrary to like her work practices, she was a little more lax at home.
Okay.
And she left the oven on and the fucking house just caught fire and
Jeez.
burned her house down.
Ah, poor Rose.
So, your wife and Rose had like kept in touch throughout the years. It turned into like one of those like a Facebook video friendship, where Rose saved, this woman's life and they've been friends for 10 years. It's one of those
Yeah.
sort of things, it
There
just kind
yeah,
of
there's
a
like a connection kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when Rose passed away, in a blazing hot house fire, right?
Jeez.
There was that's what that's what they told your wife was that it was a house fire, caused by her leaving the stove on. But when you guys heard the news, you drove by and there was a detective standing over the ash. He had a hand to his jaw and he just didn't buy it.
What?
He thinks that there was something else going on that started this house fire.
Really?
He says, I've seen things like this before, you
Yeah.
know. He uh he sort of walks over to where like the fireplace was, like the hearth. He's got a stick. He kind of moves some of the debris around, and there's a burn and where the carpet was with two AA batteries and an outline shaped kind of like a corn cob.
Okay.
And he just kind of grimaced and he goes, something doesn't add up. But either way, your wife took Rose's death pretty hard, and was like they were true friends for
Yeah.
years. And over time, that sort of debt of gratitude for what she did for her eventually faded away, and they formed like a true lifelong bond. What was left, anyways.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are gonna go plant a few rose bushes in the backyard in memory of your wife's late friend and savior. So you go to like a again, you go to one of those big box stores. They got rose bushes out there in various sizes, shapes, colors, a plethora of options. You you kind of leave it up to your wife. You're like, what calls out to you? What reminds you of Rose? And she picks these yellow knockout roses. And she says Rose had this yellow shirt that she'd wear that was the color of sunshine. And when I think of her, it's what she has on. And this is the color of that shirt. So you guys get a few different rose bushes. You you go out, you get back from the store by like 9:30. You go out, you kind of prepped the area the day before after the sun went down as far as like digging. You didn't want to do it again in the heat of the day. Now you're just gonna like plant. You're gonna put these things in the ground, you're gonna get them watered, you're gonna get them dressed, and this is ultimately like right now is when you're doing the project, right? Everything has been set up to this moment. You've got four corners of the backyard. You're planting one bush in each corner, so there's like a spot in each corner by the where the fences come together. You it takes you probably 2 hours, all things considered, to get them in the ground, to get them dressed, to get everything watered and
Oh, I thought
cleaned
it would
up.
take way longer than that. That's 2 hours is
No,
woof. What a relief.
yeah, yeah, no. You like I said, you did a bunch of digging the day before, so all the stuff that was like really, you know, more heavily manual, you already took care of. This is just putting the stuff in the ground, getting it dressed, and considering the project done for now, right?
For Rose.
For Rose. You get all these things in the ground, you get them covered, you get them dressed, you get them watered. It's still like not even noon yet. You feel like great. This is what an accomplishment.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You guys make lunch. You leave the windows open in the kitchen. You hear the birds. You see like birds sort of dancing around the bushes, like hummingbirds.
Yeah.
It's just very peaceful, calm. And you just sort of exist there with the sounds of nature coming in through your kitchen window. You eat lunch in like a intense silence, just kind of like ah, you know, just not in like a bad way, just in like a I'm savoring this moment and don't want to interrupt it with anything else kind of way, right? You spend the afternoon together. You go outside to you're gonna fire up some stuff on the grill for dinner.
Like what?
You got you got a couple of steaks. You got a you got a bratwurst. You're gonna give to your dog Gregory. You got a couple of ears of corn. You're gonna throw in there. You know, you got some baked potatoes in the oven. You go out and you see like in the last like half hour of light for the day. Your bug zapper comes on, street lamps come on. The smoke looks a little different in the darker of as it gets like later into the evening. You're out there flipping these steaks, and by God, your neighbor's dog is in your yard. His name's Perry. He's a big golden retriever. He's just a big fucking bumbling idiot of a dog, you know. He's just a big doofus, right? He he's like digging underneath the fence, right? Right where that rose bush is planted. You can see that he's like sticking his snout underneath there, and then he's digging out on the other side. He's just fucking wrecking things, you know?
Hell yeah.
You're like, what the fuck, man? You're like, I just planted these things. What are you doing? You kind of like walk over to the fence. You're like, get out of here, Perry. You're like, shoot. You like smack the fence.
Yeah.
It doesn't do much good. He's sticking his mouth under there. He's really digging at this stuff, right? He's pulling like mulch into his yard. He's just really like wrecking the edge of this thing right by your fence. You're like, get out of here. He's just being a
Yeah.
being a pest. He's being a rascal, but he is not leaving. He is insistent on fucking with this new rose bush. Your wife hears the commotion. Your wife, her name is Kendra, and she comes out and she's like, "What's going on?" She kind of sees like you're like, "Hey, get out of here!" You're dealing with trying to deal with the dog in your own way, right? And you turn back and you go, "This fucking dog is digging underneath the fence and he's wrecking. He's like pulling the mulch out. We spent all morning doing this."
Yeah.
She kind of like Kendra like she claps. She's like, "Hey," and she like claps like twice, real loud. The dog just keeps digging. She turns around and goes inside. A couple seconds later, you hear like a bang, 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 bang. He's knocking on a fucking front door of your neighbor's house. You think, oh shit, like this is not good. Like this is,
No.
to say you have like a contentious relationship with your neighbors is kind of an understatement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, sometimes they put the trash out and it's like 6 inches into your driveway and you can make it in and out without a problem. It's really not an issue, but it's just the fact that they do it.
Sure.
And it's like how this feels like intentional. They're kind of loud sometimes. They always try to one up everybody in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna
Yeah.
you guys get your Christmas lights up first, and then they put up like this huge elaborate display the next day.
Oh, whoa.
They're always trying to one up everybody. And they're just not the best neighbors. They really don't fit in with the rest of the folks on the horseshoe at Terrywood Glen.
Oh, hell yeah.
You kind of see them as like a middler, like so when you look at Terrywood Glen, the subdivision off of the road is like a big arch, right? The horseshoe. And that's where like the elite of Terrywood Glen live along. You live at like 11 o'clock on the horseshoe. You're back there with the elite. But there are several cross streets in between the two posts of the arch. And that's where like you guys like on the horseshoe think of those people inside. You call them the middlers. You think lesser of them because they don't live on the shoe like you
We,
do.
we actively look down on these people.
100%.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like that. Hey, how big is Terrywood Glen?
I mean, it's a pretty big subdivision. If I had to
Okay.
guess, I mean, there's probably over 100 homes.
Okay.
Probably right around that, I would guess.
Okay. I'm just curious.
So, it's like it's a subdivision full of people. It's like the prime subdivision right? When you're part of town, that's like the kids want to go trick or treating in
Why?
because some people give out full size bars, man. You know,
Fuck
everybody,
yes.
it's a full size bar neighborhood. It just is, you know.
Really?
It was the sixth ranked subdivision for trick or treaters in all of Texas, right? And and it was number one in Central Texas. The only ones that were
Oh wow.
above Terrywood Glen were in like there was two in Houston and two more in Dallas. But yeah, they were right there, you know.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So
That
it's a
is very
great,
cool. I always loved those houses, man.
yeah.
You know?
And you guys recognize it. It's kind of like there's not an HOA, but there is like a suggested set of rules. And one of them is like Halloween, you go all out. You spare no
Really?
expense. Yeah. So
Why
a
do they
lot of
care so
people,
much about that, do you think?
it's just they just want to give off the illusion that they are a welcoming, fun, full-size candy bar neighborhood. And that if you have a chance to move into Terrywood Glen, even if it's in a Midler Street, you know, because frankly, being a Midler at Terrywood Glen is better than being an elite at most other subdivisions in all of Austin. Even if you get a chance to be a Midler at Terrywood Glen, you jump on it, let alone living on the shoe.
Why is it considered it is considered really good because
You guys are giving out full-size bars, you know?
that's why people want to move there?
I mean, that's definitely a reason, you know?
But why?
It's got a
Why?
great location. It's got an active social life.
Who would move there because of that? That's so
People who appreciate a full-size bar community.
it's
People
just so
who on
odd.
Halloween know that they can let their kids walk around in a safe neighborhood and they're going to come back and they're going to be so happy because of where they live. And that's Terrywood Glen. It's a wonderful place to raise your children.
Are there any houses that don't participate in the full size thing?
No. Well, I
Really?
mean, some that don't participate in the full size thing, yes, but maybe that's a house where they give you like $2, you know, or they will have like some
What?
like ornate. Yeah, there's one couple they've given out $2 to every single kid, $2 cash in a $2 bill. Every single kid who comes through there, the trick or treat, he pulls out his wallet and it is just a fat fucking stack of $2 bills. And then over the night, he's able to like sit easier because like the thickness of his wallet decreases. It's honestly kind of like it's a thing where every Halloween he wakes up in a cold sweat and he knows that this is the day that he pays penance for living in Terrywood Glen. He's a
Wow.
dentist in town, so he's like, I can't give him candy. He goes, but I do make a good living, so he gives out $2 bills.
What's his name?
His name is Dr. Frank Stallone, DDS.
You guessed it.
And yeah, so he starts out with like a thick ass wallet, and he's like watching TV, and he's like sitting up on one ass cheek because his other ass's cheek is like lifted up by the thickness of his wallet,
Why even have it
and
in your pants then?
because he views it as sort of like a thing he has to do. It's like a yearly reminder to be thankful for his place in life.
Absurd. All right, whatever.
So it's like yeah, you and your neighbor, right? Your neighbor's always like the last one to put up decorations, but they do it the biggest, and it's just sort of like a fuck you to everybody else. It feels like a very selfish thing to do, right?
Hmm.
They they're just smug, just smug people.
It feels like they're saying fuck you. That's not me like reading
Oh
into it.
yeah.
You don't think?
No. No, no, no.
That's so
Like
brazen.
this barbecue grill you bought, it was like it's like the biggest investment you've made, like that you consider like something that's for you. It was like a $2,000 barbecue grill, that you're like,
Wow.
I'm gonna be grilling all the time. And like the day after that you got yours in, they had somebody who had to like use your driveway to like back in an even bigger barbecue grill. So they had to come over and they were like, "Hey Pat, we're having a very large barbecue grill delivered today. Do you mind if we use your driveway for a minute?" And it's the husband and he just fucking smiles at you. You clenched your fists with rage and you go, "Sure thing, Charlie. Go right
Yeah.
ahead." You know? And he did. So
And
yeah,
fuck these people.
you don't get along. Charlie and Grace. And you guys your wife goes over again. You hear just bang, bang, bang. You hear Grace answer the door and she's like, "Oh, hello, Kendra." She goes, "What can I do for you?"
Mm.
And your wife is like, "Your fucking dog is digging under our fence, tearing up our new landscaping." And you kind of like walk along to the other corner of the fence just to like watch this happen. You're like, the dog's gonna do what the dog's gonna do. It's
Yeah, I
not
can't
listening to you.
really. Yeah, I can't do anything.
And Grace is like, he's a dog. He digs. I'm sorry. And then you just hear a yelp, like, oh, this dog like hurts itself, you know. You kind of like you're looking over the fence at the argument, and Grace, like shocked, turns around and she runs in. You kind of like run back over to where the dog was, and you hear it whimper on the other side of the fence. And Grace is like, he hurt his paw on one of your rose bushes. She goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
What? You're mad at
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. She's like,
Your
you couldn't
dog is trying to ruin the thing, the our shrine basically. And I cannot believe that you're angry at me about this.
she just grunts and she goes, "You fucking people."
Your fucking dog's not supposed to be there, lady.
And you hear her just like walk away. The whimper gets a little bit further away in the distance. Your wife comes back over and she's like, "Can you believe the fucking nerve of her
Yeah, I
to
don't
say
like
this is
them.
our fault?"
It's crazy.
So meanwhile, you're like, "Well, now I have to go get more mulch, and it's like a whole other trip." And you're like, "I'm just gonna leave this like it is for now, and we'll fix it tomorrow." A couple days go by. You you put like an unsightly piece of plywood up against the fence just to like keep the dog out. You know, it looks like shit, and
Yeah.
it's just like it sticks out like a sore thumb. You know it, right? You recognize it, and every day that you're outside or you look, your eyes are just drawn to it, you know.
Oh man.
A few days after the incident goes by, you get a knock on your door. Grace is standing on your porch. She hands you a bill. It's for $1,200. It's a vet bill. They had to remove a thorn from the dog's paw, and there was all kinds of, you know how doctors, there's all kinds of shit. They charge you for everything, and they had
Okay.
to put it under anesthesia. And she's like, this dog hurt itself on your property. She goes, you're gonna have 30 days to pay this, or we're getting our lawyers involved.
All right. I take that bill and I rip it in half in front of her and I say, "You got to get off my property. Don't ever talk to me again. This is insane."
She goes, the facts are that this incident happened on your property. She said, we don't have rose bushes on my property.
Yeah, because your stupid dog ran into mine and we were trying to get you to stop it. You fucking idiot. Absolutely not. Get your lawyer.
She says, facts are facts, Patrick.
Cool. Awesome. See you in court, fuckface.
So you think that, right?
Also, your goddamn decorations are the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen in my life, and everyone thinks so. I just,
She gives you the finger. And she's already like stomping across your lawn, right?
they suck.
You look out, you see your husband just grilling on that massive grill.
Yeah.
He's oblivious. He just waves at you. Hey.
I wave back. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're living in like this tense situation between you and yeah, you know, your neighbor. And it's just uncomfortable, right? They'll walk their dog on the sidewalk. You'll see them in the neighborhood. They're gonna be coming and going. Like you're gonna see their car. And like it's not something you can avoid. They're your next door neighbor, and there is a lot of discomfort there.
You know what? That's fine
That's what you
because
guys both say.
these people are not going to make me feel uncomfortable. They're just not. I'm going to live my life in Terrywood Glen, and I'm going to know that those two people hate my fucking guts, and I'm going to be absolutely okay with it because I hate their guts too. So, whatever. I'll wave, dude. I'll offer lemonade. I will not give a fuck.
That's what you say. And you know, you're kind of like sitting in your house one day. There's a knock on your door.
I open
You
it.
go out, it's just a guy in a brown suit. He goes, Patrick Dean.
Yeah.
He goes, you've been served, and he serves you a lawsuit, right? For delinquency of payment.
Oh man.
right? It's a $1,200 bill plus court costs plus emotional damage. They're suing you for $1.5 million for
What
emotional
the
damage,
fuck?
right?
Oh no.
You kind of look out, you see Grace standing on her porch looking out at you, and she goes, "I'll see you in court, Pat." And you guys have like just like you're finally like, this is enough. And you guys just have like this screaming match across your porches, right?
Oh no.
It's a whole thing. You see people that are like walking through the neighborhood or like stopping, right? The uh the guy who's like serving you, he just kind of like steps back slowly off of your porch. He just gets in his car and peels the fuck out.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah.
even observe the stop sign. He just gets the fuck out of there.
Oh well.
Your wife comes downstairs. She starts yelling. Her husband comes
Oh
downstairs. He
no.
starts yelling. It's like a whole thing. It's just like a
Dang.
huge ordeal. It ends with both of you guys slamming your doors and going inside. You eat your dinner in a frustrated silence, thinking about what you can do to remedy the situation. You go to bed, and then you come to. You come to, and you feel a stretch on your chest as your arms are tied behind your back.
What?
You find it hard to breathe almost. You have a rag stuffed into your mouth in a pitch black room. You can't really talk. You hear other people start to like grunt, like they're trying to speak, but they too have their mouths gagged.
What?
A bare bulb gets turned on from the center of the room. There are five people that are wearing dark robes, and they all say TWG on them.
Oh man.
And you look across, you're tied to a chair, as is your wife,
Oh no.
and your neighbors are tied up as well. One
That
of the
I'm not
men
as
from
upset about.
one of the men from the TWG that's dressed up like that. He kind of like walks up and he goes, "What happened today is unacceptable." He says, "A discussion has been had and a decision has been made.
What?
One of you has to go. The other four guys, each one of them unties each one of you.
Who are these guys?
They're all dressed in these robes, these Terrywood Glen robes,
What the hell?
and they say, they're like, hey, you know, don't hold this against us. They're like, we're all kind of, we're just
Yeah,
it's
of
just a
course.
community, like we're just doing our
Whatever.
jobs. So
This
they
is so
untie you
insane.
guys, they take away the ropes, they take away the chairs, the bare bulb swings overhead.
Hmm.
You hear the closing of a door, and then you hear from the other side of the door, you say, last one standing stays. What do you do?
Last one standing. Am I still tied up?
No, they untied you and took away all the stuff.
Oh, okay. I tackle that guy head on. I
Yeah.
just tackle him and I choke
You,
him. Fuck
you
these
start
people.
you start choking him. You turn around and your wife is fighting Grace, and they're tussling and you just hear like smacks and and you're just like trying to get your hands around
Sure.
this guy's neck.
Yep.
And he like easily overpowers you
Damn
and
it.
he chokes you unconscious and they
What?
both Grace like takes the light bulb out of the socket and stabs your wife with it.
Holy shit.
You guys die on a cold concrete floor somewhere in Terrywood Glen. You never find out exactly where you are. But your house gets put up for sale a
Oh,
couple days later. And because you guys didn't have any kids, there was no beneficiary, so all the proceeds go to Terrywood Glen. And
what?
yeah,
Oh
they say
no.
all the proceeds go to Terrywood Glen, and they cover the
No.
cost of all the candy bars that get spent for the next 10 Halloweens. The Halloween parade that goes around from that point forward every 10 years
Oh
or every year
man.
for 10 years, there's the Patrick and Kendra Dean Memorial Halloween Parade. And
All
you'll
right. Well,
never guess who
that's
the fucking grand marshals are every year
no.
with a smile on their faces. And let's just say they have the nicest float out of them all.
Fuck them. God.
Yeah.
God, even the memorial thing ended up sucking ass because the fuck, man. It would
It
have been
was
cool to
the
have like a thing named after you, I guess, but it's those
yeah.
motherfuckers, they're behind it.
I mean, they're the marshals, but it is the Halloween parade for the fifth best neighborhood to trick or treat in all of Texas.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it is
Okay.
nice to have something named after you, but you'll never get to
Ah,
see it because you guys are fucking dead,
yeah, man. They took us out
beaten
quick
to
too.
beaten to death by your neighbors.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't really know how to fight. I guess Kendra didn't either.
No, no,
We
you
should
guys,
we should have trained, I guess. Damn.
yeah,
Fuck.
maybe.
I'm always so glad to be in Terrywood Glen, but it never ends well. I don't know why. I'm always so psyched to be there,
It's a
you
cool
know?
place.
I guess, but I'm fucking dead. Whatever.